Grabbing her purse, she slipped the strap over her head where it rested diagonally across her chest. "Make this worth my while. Are we needing anything else while I'm out? Because when I return, I'm staying put for the weekend and vegging out on reruns of The Golden Girls." Nim slowly shook his head as he usually did. "Not that I can think of." Giving a little snort, Mimsey bade the door open and headed back out amid the populace. She made good time returning to the small corner grocery store. Mrs. Albincinio glanced up from the register and waved at her. "Back so soon, Mrs. Goddess?" "Forgot bananas," Mimsey replied and turned down the first aisle toward the area where the fruits and vegetables were displayed. She stopped dead in her tracks when she caught sight of the silver-haired man investigating the bin of cantaloupe. Partly amused and somewhat curious, she stood back and watched as he sniffed the one in his hand, put it back on the pile, and chose another. As he pondered over the fruit, she was able to study him. He had a nice aura about him, which told her he was a good man. Kind-hearted, but he could also be ruthless if he needed to be. The glow reminded her of the one she'd seen around Alexander the Great. Strong, driven, yet, in a lot of ways, not quite cognizant of what he could accomplish. He was a man who hadn't yet found either his full or real potential. For the cherry on top, he wasn't bad to look at. Late 40s or early 50s, scruffy day's growth of beard, dark with sprinkles of gray. Nice build, and tall, maybe 2 meters tall, give or take a few centimeters. The man put the cantaloupe down and moved over to where the grapes were located. He must have caught sight of her from the corner of his eye and glanced up. A wry grin creased his face. "You caught me," he remarked. Nice voice, baritone. "Can't decide what to get?" she lightly asked. He waved a hand over the produce. "I'm not fruit savvy. I can't tell if it's ripe or still green." "Care for a tip or two?" she offered. The grin broadened into a warm smile. "I'd appreciate the help if you don't mind." Mimsey walked over to the other side of the bin. "I'll do what I can. What do you need to know?" "Are the cantaloupes ripe?" She smiled and picked up the one he'd sniffed. "For starters, sniffing it is a good indicator," she began. "You can also—" "Everybody, down on the floor! Get down!" a young-sounding voice yelled from the front of the store. Mimsey rolled her eyes and silently groaned. Sweet Olympus, here we go again.